Hello and welcome to FactsMatter. I'm your host, and in this episode, we're looking at what big corporations are actually planning for 2026. Last episode, we looked under the hood of the strong economy story. GDP looks great, markets look great, but confidence, freight, and delinquencies are all flashing yellow. Today, I want to show you something even clearer. While you're being told this is the best economy in the world, some of the biggest companies in America are openly planning tens of thousands of layoffs in 2026. And they're not calling it a problem. They're calling it efficiency, restructuring, and AI transformation. Let's look at what they're actually planning to do to their workforces this year. First, context. In 2025, U.S. employers announced roughly 1.2 million job cuts. That was the highest number of layoff announcements since 2020, and about a 50 to 60% jump from the year before. So we're not starting from a normal year. We're starting from a year that already looked like a slow motion jobs recession. Underneath the headline, GDP growth, you would think if the economy is as strong as we're being told, that 2026 will be the year of rebuilding headcount. Instead, companies are lining up to cut more. Let's start with the big names. UPS is planning to eliminate about 30,000 jobs in 2026 and close about 2 dozen facilities. That's on top of tens of thousands of cuts and dozens of facility closures they already carried out in 2025. Management calls 2026 an inflection year as they finish pulling back from Amazon business and optimize their network. Amazon has announced about 16,000 corporate layoffs in early 2026, on top of roughly 14,000 corporate cuts in late 2025. So you're looking at something like 30,000 white collar jobs gone in less than a year and a half. In their public statements, they talk about removing layers, eliminating bureaucracy, and reallocating people and money into AI. Dow, the chemicals giant, is cutting in the neighborhood of 4,500 jobs as part of a program literally branded Transform to Outperform. The idea is to restructure plants, lean more automation, and push margins higher with a smaller workforce. Nike has eliminated hundreds of jobs at its U.S. distribution centers, around 700 about 775 roles, while it automates more of its supply chain. The company says the goal is to enhance and streamline operations so it can respond more quickly and more profitably. Citi. Citi is in the middle of a multi-year restructuring that will ultimately remove tens of thousands of roles, roughly 10% of its global workforce. The official language is about becoming simpler, more focused, and more efficient. But for the people losing their jobs, it's just a layoff. And lastly, Oracle. This just broke news actually today. Oracle is repeating is re, I'm sorry. Oracle is reportedly considering cutting up to 30,000 jobs to fund its AI data center expansion. That's on top of the 10,000 jobs they already cut in late 2025 as part of a $1.6 billion restructuring. The reasoning, they need the cash flow to build AI infrastructure. So they're literally firing workers to pay for the machines that will replace workers. Let me put all of this in one place so you can see the full picture. Here's the 2026 layoff scoreboard. UPS, 30,000 jobs plus 24 facilities on top of 48,000 they already cut. Amazon, 16,000 more corporate jobs after 14,000 last year. Oracle is reportedly considering up to 30,000 cuts to fund their AI data centers. Dow, Citi, Nike, Pinterest, Angie, BlackRock, Saks, they're all on this list. And look at the last column. That's what they call it, inflection year. Eliminating red tape, transform to outperform. AI driven efficiency, strategic priorities. Nobody calls it what it is, a jobs recession, while they tell you the economy is booming. And it's not just mega caps. Angie is cutting hundreds of jobs while telling investors that AI tools make parts of the business more efficient. Pinterest is shrinking double digit percentages of its staff in some areas as it shifts to an AI forward strategy. Saks, BlackRock, media companies, tech firms. You can scroll through 2026 layoff lists and see more than 100 recognizable names. Taken together, big US companies have already announced tens of thousands of cuts for 2026, less than a month into the year. And that's on top of the 1.2 million layoffs announced in 2025. If you just listen to the press releases, you'll think none of this is a problem. Here's the language executives are using. At Amazon, leadership talks about minimizing layers, boosting ownership, and eliminating red tape so the company can move faster in the AI race. Companies like Angie describe their layoffs as AI driven efficiency improvements and optimizing the organizational structure. A major software CEO openly said that three-quarters of his engineering team lost their jobs because of what he called the brutal impact of AI on the business. Nike frames its job cuts as a way to enhance and streamline operations through supply chain automation. Notice what's missing. Nobody says we're worried about workers. Nobody says we overbuilt during the boom and now we're downsizing into a weaker economy. Instead, the story is always we're modernizing, we're embracing AI, we're getting lean. So what does all of this tell us? From the boardroom's perspective, 2026 is a year to do more with fewer people. Not because the numbers are terrible for shareholders. Many of these companies are still profitable and still talking about strong demand. But because this is the perfect time to blame cuts on AI, efficiency, or post pandemic normalization, from the public's perspective, you're still being told the economy is strong. Consumer spending is solid. The labor market is resilient. Both of those stories can't be true in the same way at the same time. If hundreds of large companies are planning more layoffs on top of a historically bad 2025, that is not what a broad based boom looks like. It's what a late cycle K shaped economy looks like, where the numbers at the top look great and everybody else is being quietly optimized out of a job. In this series, I'm not telling you how to vote or which party to blame. I'm just showing you what the data and the corporate plans actually say. So as you hear speeches about the greatest economy in history this year, keep a second question in your head. If things are really this strong, why are UPS, Amazon, Dow, Nike, Citi, and 100 other companies all planning to run 2026 with fewer workers? If you want to keep following along, I'll bringing you the numbers most people never see. Watch the data, not the slogans. For now, be safe, take care, and I'll be posting the next video real soon. Thank you for listening. Bye bye now.